This video has been brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download and a 30-day free trial at audibletrial.com/mega capital G. Over 180,000 titles to choose from on your Apple or Android device. Cancel anytime with no obligations. I'm listening to The Amazing Wrestling for My Life by Shawn Michaels. Link in the description. What's up, YouTube? Capital G here, giving you guys a significant amount of news that just dropped on the official Konami blog. This is posted by them. This is not speculation. This is 100% their news. Thus, it is confirmed. It's actually an update to the FNL list, and it talks about some things that are going to happen in regards to that. As you guys can see, I am currently live streaming. This news just broke in the middle of my live stream, so I thought that I'd go ahead and cover it. And let's go ahead and talk about what Konami posted, because this is incredibly significant, especially when it comes to how big we think that the FNL list is going to be. My chat's going to post a lot of crazy stuff, so maybe you guys want to pay attention to that, maybe you don't. So it says, as you know, the current FNL list page states that the next list will be no sooner than April 2nd. That means that's the earliest that a new list will appear. It does not mean that a list will go necessarily, or a list will necessarily appear on that date. Although we have some adjustments in mind, player response to the current list has been very good. Tournament attendance is way up and the players are happy. So right here, Konami is saying already that they have some things that they're thinking about doing on this list, but they're not necessarily going to drop a new ban list within the next couple of days. It pretty much says that, hey guys, we might have some things, but it honestly feels like you guys are enjoying the format. Our tournament attendance has been super high. You guys seem to like the list. So it seems like they're kind of saying what a lot of the Yu-Gi-Oh community is saying. The game of Yu-Gi-Oh right now is in a really healthy state. I think most people who have played the game competitively, whether it be at YCS Atlanta or Chicago or any even regionals over like the past month or so, I think most people just enjoy Yu-Gi-Oh right now. Now it says right here, and this is the very, very important thing, it says expect some small adjustments to the list later in April rather than early April. To me, while this doesn't 100% confirm that Konami is going to drop a list, in the I guess the absolute like second half of April, to me this pretty much guarantees, number one, we're not going to be getting a list on April 2nd. And number two, the fact that they say small adjustments, this probably means that we're not going to be getting a big, completely huge makeover list for the NAWCQ. So to me, this means we're probably not going to be getting a huge makeover list. Konami's probably saving that after the NAWCQ. And I do have some cards that people have been discussing in the community, whether it be cards that, are maybe implications from the OCG ban list that just got updated in April, or maybe it just be cards that people have just been talking about potentially getting hit. And I think that this means that a lot of these cards are just not going to be getting hit. First off, and people can probably say excuse me, that I am obviously biased because I have a vested interest in Salamander Greats, but to me, this essentially means if Konami straight up saying we're going to be getting a small list, this means that we're probably not going to see anything in Salamander Greats get hit. The archetype is fairly new, it's incredibly popular, it's budget friendly for a lot of players who don't have a lot of money. This means that things like Salamander, Gazelle, or Circle probably aren't going to be getting hit. Also, if Konami is doubling down on their talks about Battles of Legends, and they're talking about how, hey, you guys know that, or Necros Cycle is going to be in here, and we already know that Sky Striker Mobilize Engage is going to be in this set. This probably, to me, means that we are not going to see significant Sky Striker hits. To me, I think that Konami would be wise to go ahead and reprint Engage to try to sell as much as possible, and then maybe hit Sky Striker after Nationals, let players have that last major tournament. I think that would be one that would make a lot of the Sky Striker players happy. I know people have been talking about Kagari because Kagari is at 1 in the OCG. Mobilize Engage is, to me, one of the more unfair cards in the game. Not a hard once per turn. Also lets you draw. I think that we might see maybe only one card, or we might not see any hits for the archetype. Then when it comes to dangers, everybody has been talking about these three cards in particular: Danger Jackalope, Danger Snake, and then Danger Nessie. Nessie probably being the overall best danger. If Konami's saying this is going to be a small list, I just don't see any way that they're going to commit 3 spots on the ban list to one archetype. Plus, as YouTubers have said, there's probably a very good chance that they want to use these cards to sell the Megatins, so we could probably see Dangerous just completely skate for the list. Now, I think that there is a possibility. I think this could be one of the things that Konami's looking at with in regards to like Azathoth and the Phantom Rank Up launch card, also Rusty Bardiche. My personal money would go on Rusty Bardiche because although it hits Phantom Knights, and I guess you could say that that's not fair for that archetype, we've seen collateral damage happen all the time in Yu-Gi-Oh! Whether it be Brilliant Fusion, obviously Gem Knight players aren't happy about that. Speed Warrior players are still salty about Terra Top going to 1, which it's in 1 in the OCG now as well. I kind of feel like if Konami hits Rusty Bardiche, you get to leave all the other cards off of the list. You get to keep the Phantom Knight launch, you get to keep Azathoth, True King of All Calamities, which Orcus will be able to make when Dark Neostorm comes out in May, I believe. So I kind of feel like if you hit Rusty Bardiche, all the other like 4 or 5 monsters that are all problems, none of them actually need to be addressed. So that's just my personal prediction, but this is one of those things that Konami could potentially have in mind. I also think that this means that some of the big problems in the OCG, Red Eyes Metal Darkness Dragon and Dark Matter Dragon, which of course are both legal in the TCG but not in the OCG, I feel like their problems are not going to translate over to here. Number 95 Dark Matter Dragon was hit some time ago in the OCG, and then subsequently they went ahead and they hit Red Eyes Metal Darkness Dragon. I kind of feel like these things are not going to happen in the TCG. We don't have that particular Gandora FTK, and you know, it was a major tier 1 deck over there, but we don't have it, so I feel like that's not going to happen. Possibly Phantom Skyblaster. So right now, I kind of feel like Phantom Skyblaster is one of the more dominant token producing cards in the game. Konami, I would say over the last 6 months or so, has really been trying to get these mass token producing cards, whether it be Scapegoat, Grinder Golem, Gofu a long time ago, Galaxy Tomahawk. I feel like this card could be potentially on the hot seat as well. Now, when it comes to things coming back potentially, oh man, it's kind of hard to see them doing that because I think our last couple of ban lists have been pretty significant, and usually that's when we get a whole lot of cards back. If Konami is straight up telling us we're going to get a small list, could we see things like the Dragon Rulers, or even if you don't want to believe all of them are coming back, Tempest is legal in the OCG, could we see Konami unban a Dragon Ruler if they're trying to do a minimal list? Could we see some Monarch unhits or some Monarch cards brought back, which you guys know I'm a huge fan of the Monarch archetype. I would love nothing more than to see Pantheism at 3, than to see Aether restored to 3. I just don't know if it's realistic if Konami's trying to do a really small list, if they're going to do these things. A lot of people are talking about Zodiac and True Draco. Draco has been a deck that's been restored in small increments in the OCG. They don't have Diagram for whatever reason, but in the TCG, they have been giving us some cards back, starting with Dynamite Knuckle. I would be a proponent of Masterpiece at 1. Masterpiece higher than 1, get that stuff out of here. I wouldn't want to deal with that. I actually believe that Zodiac could be another archetype that it would be really nice to get some of their cards back, mainly just Dryden and Broadwell. Put them both at 1, see what the deck actually does in Master Rule 4. Last time we saw Zodiac, it was at like full power, and that's why it was meta, even in Master Rule 4. But I feel like a lot of these things right now are just kind of pie in the sky. What I think Konami is probably going to do is have a very small list going into the NAWCQ, and then after that, they're going to have this huge title wave where maybe they're trying to get basically all of last year's decks out of the game. We could see Sky Striker get a colossal hit after that and basically kind of make it unplayable and try to push newer archetypes that are coming out in Rising Rampage and Chaos Impact, decks like Marincess and some of the other like anime decks that are being played in the show. But what do you guys think of this information that Konami just dropped? We're not going to be getting a ban list, more likely than not anyways, in the first half of April. Chances are it's going to be in the second half, and it does mean that we're probably just going to get a small list. Any things that you thought were going to get hit on a massive scale probably isn't going to happen. And whatever you guys think, leave it in the comment section below. I'm definitely interested to see, because people have been talking about the ban list a lot lately, and I really want to see where this is going to go. Konami giving us an update. This is also something that I hope they do in the future, because I think that people get a little bit antsy, you know, especially with the secondary market. People start like selling cards and kind of panic buying and stuff like that. Maybe that will actually help a lot with regards to the secondary market if Konami would start giving us updates at least before they were going to drop an FNL list, because they should just give us a little bit of information, be a little more transparent. But whatever you guys think, leave it in the comment section below. Thank you guys for watching. As always, subscribe if you have not already, and turn on that notification bell for daily videos. This video has been brought to you by Audible. Audible. Get a free audiobook download and 30-day free trial at audible.com/megacapitalG. Over 180,000 titles to choose from on your mobile device. I'm listening to the amazing I Can't Make This Up by Kevin Hart. Link in the description. This video has been brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download and a 30-day free trial at audibletrial.com/megacapitalG. Over 180,000 titles to choose from on your Apple or Android device. Cancel anytime with no obligations. I'm listening to the amazing Wrestling for My Life by Shawn Michaels. Link in the description.